A CNN exclusive. The family of Amber Thurman speaking out about her death inside of a Georgia hospital. Democrats blaming it on the state's abortion ban and now propelling her story to the front of the presidential race. All the while, Donald Trump and Republicans say women won't even have to worry about abortion. Family's response to that tonight on Laura Coates Live. It's the issue that got Nikki Haley asking tonight, are you trying to lose the election? I'm talking about abortion. The issue has become Donald Trump's Achilles heel. And new polling suggests tonight that it's costing him some votes, as he and Republicans up and down the ballot struggle to land on a message to defend the fallout from the end of Roe versus Wade. Case in point, the GOP Senate candidate in Ohio, who said this at a town hall last week in newly uncovered audio.
There's a lot of suburban women. A lot of suburban women that are like, listen, abortion's it. If I can't have an abortion in this country whenever I want, I will vote for anybody else. Okay, a little crazy, by the way. Well, especially for women that are like past 50, I'm thinking to myself,
Well, Moreno's campaign claims it was all tongue-in-cheek, a jab at how Democrats say the only issue that matters to women is abortion. Now, of course, women are not a monolith. Of course, our interests are wide and varied and far-reaching. But you'd have to be a fool to think that it doesn't matter to women, including those above the age of 50. This new CNN poll showing women breaking towards Harris, who's been hammering Trump day after day on, you guessed it, abortion rights. Now, it's not a small margin. She's ahead with women by 10 points. Harris is trying to seize the momentum. She's now vowing to even use the nuclear option in the Senate and get rid of the barrier blocking the passage of a bill that could codify abortion rights.
I think we should eliminate the filibuster for Roe and get us to the point where 51 votes would be what we need to actually put back in law the protections for reproductive freedom and for the ability of every person and every woman to make decisions about their own body and not have their government tell them what to do.
Talk about a risky move. Even Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, her former colleague in the Senate, is staying mum about this right now. But it's a move that Harris is banking on to get voters who do care about reproductive rights to the polls. And you know what? It could pay off. In the post-Roe v. Wade world in the United States, many women are worried about their health, even their very survival. They're seeing what happened to Amber Thurman and Candy Miller in Georgia, and they're wondering if the same thing could happen to them. Now, their stories were first reported by ProPublica, which linked their deaths to the state's strict abortion law. For 28-year-old Amber Thurman, ProPublica reports that she found out that she was pregnant with twins after Georgia's 6-week abortion ban went into effect. She tried to get an abortion in North Carolina, a 4-hour away drive, scheduling a day off work and leaving at 4 o'clock in the morning to get to the clinic. But she hit traffic and she missed the appointment. The clinic could not hold her spot open because it was overwhelmed by women from other states that also had abortion bans that were seeking abortion-related services. But an employee offered her an approved abortion pill regimen, and Amber took it. And days later, she suffered a rare complication. Amber's body did not expel all the fetal tissue. So she went to the hospital in Georgia to get a procedure that could actually help her. But ProPublica says that Amber waited for more than 20 hours until a decision was made to operate. 20 hours in pain, wondering what would happen to her 6-year-old son. Amber died during that surgery. I want to bring in Amber Nicole Thurman's mother, Shanette Williams, and Amber's sisters, CJ and Andrika Thurman, along with attorney for Amber Thurman's family, Ben Crump. I want to thank you all for being here. The entire world, let alone this country, is absolutely devastated, Ms. Shanette, to hear what has happened to your daughter. I mean, the state's maternal mortality review committee found there was, and these are their words, a good chance that Amber's death was preventable. According to them, this could have been prevented. I cannot imagine what this feels like for you.
Laura, after August the 19th, this is my reality. I wouldn't have ever imagined walking into the hospital and this being my result. When I got there, she was repeatedly telling me how much pain she was in,
Mm.
and I would reassure her that you're going to have that, you're here, they're going to help you. Don't worry, you're going to get the help that you need. We're in the best hands. You're at the hospital. And she kept telling me, no, Ma, you don't understand. I am in pain. It is too much pain. She began to cry. As a mother, I reassured her she was okay. She was okay. As her mom, I handed her over to the people I trusted,
Mm.
the
And
people that were supposed to take care of my baby.
just hearing you say what every mother would think, go to the hospital, they will help you, trying to reassure, trying to calm her down. It's just so painful and heartbreaking to understand that, as CJ, I'll bring you into this as well, that as ProPublica reports, that very hospital, it took more than 20 hours to begin truly treating her and performing the surgery to try to get that toxic tissue out of her body. Has anyone given an explanation for why it took 20 hours?
No, we haven't gotten any explanation. And it's very sad that we're just finding out how she really passed. Before my sister went into surgery, she FaceTimed me. And my sister was very bright, very light skinned. When she FaceTimed me, my sister was literally blue. She had blue patches all over her face. And Amber, she just looked at me. I asked her, I said, Amber, are you dehydrated? Do you need water? Like, are they taking care of you? She was just like, no, I just passed out again. She was throwing up. She was passing out at the hospital. She hit her head, she had all kind of bruises and you know what I mean, all over her face. And before she went into surgery, she literally stared at me for about 7 seconds, and I stared at her. And I think that my sister knew that she wasn't going to make it out of surgery. She knew that was going to be the last time that we were ever able to see her, that I would ever be able to see her again. And that face, that stare, it haunts me every day to know that my sister was in so much pain for so long.
For you to see that and to see her face in that way, I'm the youngest sister of three girls. And looking at you all reminds me of my own family and trying to imagine what that would have been like to be on a FaceTime, to be in her presence, to be where I would think I would be safe and she could get help. I mean, Andrika, this is agonizing, I know, for your family. And to know not only is it agonizing privately, but here this is Amber's story, your family's now journey front and center, and now a presidential election. What has your reality been like in these moments?
Ever since we found out, I'm having a hard time understanding how they could let my sister suffer for 20 hours.
Mm.
My sister was in pain the entire 20 hours. She was in pain and she was still updating us, letting us know what's going on, what she's doing, while she's in pain. And she did call before she went into surgery, and she was blue. She was so blue she could hardly talk, and she just stared at me. She stared at me as if she knew this was going to be her last time seeing me. She didn't say a word. I didn't say a word. We just stared at each other. And that is all I have left of my sister. The images of her laying there, blue, and then seeing her lifeless on a bed. And I can't do anything about it. Those are my last images, and it haunts me. When I close my eyes, it haunts me. As I'm driving in my car, it haunts me. It just haunts me. That was my little sister.
Mom, I Miss Jeanette, I can't begin to imagine what it is you're feeling between your daughters, holding your daughter's funeral program. And
The fact,
uh,
the fact that I was actually with her on August the 19th and I released her. We were in the elevator, 1:59 p.m. She was giving me instructions about the pain. She went from talking about the pain to, Mom, you're going to have to take care of my son. You're going to have to. And I just interrupted her and I told her, no, they're going to help you. She began to cry. My baby was extremely strong. When she cried, I wiped the tears and I said, I'll be right here waiting when you come out of that operating room. I will not leave. I'm right here. She looked up at me after she had me to FaceTime them and she said, I know you'll be here. And sitting between them, hearing what they've been going through, what it's been like for them, I shut down 24 months in a dark room because the only thing I felt was, what more could I have done? What did I miss? What did I miss? I'm her mom. I was supposed to know, but I handed her off.
Do that to yourself. I mean, you can't blame yourself. I know that you are expressing that, but you know that this was not your doing. You know that in your heart.
And, for to find out with the world, to find out with the world, it's like the wound that wasn't healed opened wider. And now it's not a private matter. The world has to see my hurt.
When you hear Miss Jeanette and CJ and Adrika, you hear the politics coming into a conversation that is deeply personal, that is deeply private, that is deeply painful. You hear people like the former President Donald Trump saying that if he were president, women will be happy and free and will no longer be thinking about abortion. This is a quote. You hear a Republican Senate candidate in Ohio saying that abortion is not an issue for women over 50. Why should they care? What goes through your mind, Miss Jeanette, when you hear comments like that?
How cruel, how pathetic. If we allow one person to have that much control, to have control over women's rights, then we're helping him. We've helped him, and this is the outcome.
Mr. Crump, let me bring you in here because you represent this family. And blood is boiling all across this country, hearts breaking, minds blown by this as a reality for this family. And God knows if there are others who are similarly situated. You represent this family. What are the next steps for them?
Well, it's about exploring every possible legal avenue to get them some measure of justice, but not just for Amber, for her son, but also for all the other women out there that may be in similar situations. These laws are so vague and ambiguous that doctors may have another Amber in a state like Alabama or Louisiana, and
how cruel to have patients on the bed that you can save, but you are worried about these laws because they don't give clear instructions on what doctors can do and not do. We have to address these draconian laws once and for all.
It just brings tears to my eyes to think about just in reading what happened, that in the summary report that they provided, they discussed at least twice the possibility of getting her the help much sooner. And here it was, 20 hours. CJ, Enrique, your mother had a chance to speak to